Let's talk about the people pleasing part. That's not talked about enough. As a people pleaser myself, I finally got the confidence, the clarity of what I wanted to say, the boundary I wanted to say, set to say no, to say, I'll go this far, you need to go the rest. But what I didn't realize is how much people will debate that, how they will negotiate that boundary. And then I had another hurdle to overcome, not just establishing the boundary and how to say no, but how do I rebuttal that? Because what I want to do is just go back to my comfort zone of saying yes, because I'm a people pleaser. So these debate questions come in all different forms. They're the follow up questions, the explanations, the why can't yous, the disappointment on their face, the pushback that you might be getting. And it seems reasonable that they're pushing back because you used to just be yes. But you have to understand that this isn't what they're doing, is negotiating your boundary. So what I found is the first hurdle was establishing a boundary. How do you say it? How do you script that out where you're overcoming your people pleasing tendencies? But then the next struggle, the next hurdle was holding those boundaries, holding my nose under pressure. Because when people start to debate me, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have set that boundary. Maybe I'm in the wrong, and that I should be more flexible. I should be more helpful. I should be moving things around to smooth things over. But that wasn't the whole point of setting the boundary, the no, in the first place. So what I have to realize is my nervous system is used to the people pleasing, the just go with it, just do it. But I'm resetting my energy, I'm reclaiming it. So I need to stick with that no, because I know it's reasonable. That's why I set this boundary. So when I hear things like, can't you just do it this once? I don't understand why you can't just do this. This really puts me in a tough spot. Or the one I heard the most, you used to be okay with it because I was a yes person. And when I backed up and really realized what they were saying, they weren't actually questions back on my boundary, back on the no I just gave out. It was attempt to reopen the door, to go back to the way things were. And so I would over communicate back to them, and I would bring more context to the situation, more over apologizing, more emotion or justification. And that wasn't solving the problem either. And what I realized is my boundaries weren't failing, or this debate I was losing wasn't because I was unclear that I needed more explanation. This debate was happening because the other person didn't like the limit that I put into place. So I stopped trying to negotiate these boundaries. I stopped trying to do things to please others, and I started holding my boundary and rescripting what I would do to hold it or meet in the middle. So when they would debate back, well, why can't you? I would start saying things like, I'm not available for that, or this doesn't work for me today, or a more direct one, I've already shared my answer, it's a no. And when they want to get emotional about it, because I used to say yes and there's this change happening, uncomfortable for them, I might honor what they're emotionally going through and say things like, I hear that's frustrating, but it's a no for me. Or acknowledging where I'm at, being a little vulnerable in my reclaiming of energy, and say something like, I need to keep my answer. I'm establishing boundaries right now so I can focus on this priority. And interestingly enough, when I talk to other leaders about establishing boundaries in their teams and using this type of language, they also feel the need to over explain. And we have to stop having paragraphs of negotiating these boundaries and be okay with one sentence answers. And if it's bringing a clear direction of where you're going, where you're stopping, where your boundary is, silence, it isn't rude. It's containment of the situation. We waste a lot of energy with debating and the back and forth. If you are being reasonable about the situation, about your capacity and honoring it, boundaries may feel unsafe and uncomfortable because you're not used to it, but that doesn't mean it is unsafe. If anything, you're doing things that will prove to your nervous system that you're safe because you're honoring that capacity limit. So when you get into addressing your people pleasing tendencies, you not only need to address how to say no, the boundary you're going to set, but you need to also give yourself permission that you don't need to debate your own needs. Your boundary doesn't need to make sense for everyone around you. And if it's aligned with where you are going and makes sense for the situation, hold your ground. And that's not selfish, it's energy management.